I wanted to ask you really quick, why do you think mental health wise, as somebody who may struggle with mental health, why dating a believer as a believer is more beneficial to you in that respect?
I think
Sorry,
that.
you have a fuzzy on your eye. Got it.
What was the question?
Sorry. What do you think are the mental health implications behind why it would be better as a believer to date somebody who is a believer as well?
So I think that if we're talking about what we have grown up to understand believing in Jesus to be, we're talking about allowing someone to be a savior and Lord, right? Literally someone who we trust has our best interest in heart, trust that he is ultimately good, ultimately faithful, ultimately loving, ultimately just, right? All of those things. And if those things are true, we are also trusting his direction. We're trusting that if he says to go left, then he's not going to make me go left and die, right? So if I meet somebody like Valerie and that person finds out that I struggle with depression and I am a believer, then that tells them a little bit of how I am trying to sustain myself as a man with depression, even if I'm not in the state where I can go to therapy or I can get medication or I can really rely on a lot of people around me, because that's actually what it was like when we first met, right? But just the fact that I'm a believer, I'm not saying that that is the end-all, be-all, but I am saying that that gives you really great insight into who's actually in the driver's seat of who's making the decisions here, right?
That's great.
Who's your counsel? Who's your pilot? Because I would say co-pilot, but Jesus is not my co-pilot.
He's the pilot.
He's
He
the
is
pilot.
the pilot.
Right? So it's different, right? If you know I'm struggling with depression and I'm a believer, then you know, okay, that means that, and he's serious about his faith. We've established that. That means he's going to church. That means he's trying to read his Bible. That means he's trying to pray. Even if he's not doing it every day, and even if the depressive symptoms make it hard for him, I know what he believes, and I know that he believes that God is who he says he is, right? And I believe that he takes God seriously, because to be depressed and still be a believer and lament to God and struggle with it and still claim it and still be able to answer all of these questions, I think it's just easier to trust that that person is not only trying to do their best spiritually, but they're trusting that God will help them make the best decisions mentally as well.
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing to add.